Hey everyone, what's up? And welcome to month 2 for my YouTube channel.
Let me share some of my thoughts. So here's the full stats. 79,000 total views across all videos and 252 new subscribers. In month 2 alone, I've received 31,000 views and 88 new subs. So in month 2, I actually posted fewer videos. I posted 4 YouTube videos and 7 YouTube shorts. During month 2, I actually had a planned vacation. So I was out of town and then getting sick twice. But still, I achieved moments that I was very proud of. If we haven't met, hi, I'm Katie. This channel sharing my journey of self-improvement, visual storytelling, and learning how brands grow. I balance a full-time job. I'm also pursuing my master's this fall. So outside of work, I've helped creators and businesses with short-form video, and now I'm building something of my own here on YouTube. If the topics that I talk about are interesting to you, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can get more of these videos. So the top performing video for month 1 and 2 is DJI. And the top performing YouTube short is actually one of my matcha videos. I think it was like making a banana matcha latte. Lens that I wanted to share. We got over 12,000 views on the DJI Osmo video. And the matcha video that I shared was also something that I've been wanting to do for a while. I've been wanting to do longer form videos, over 10 minutes long, and to do more researched business case studies. I've always been passionate about matcha, so I thought my first one would be a matcha one. And I was really excited to finally upload that one. It's been gaining traction. If you're interested, please go ahead and check that out. I put in a lot of work for that one. So far, it's got the highest average view duration of over 3 minutes. Okay, so let's talk about things that I would do differently, and I have some notes. Number 1 is my new workflow for pre-production. So pre-production, if you didn't know, is basically everything that you do prior to filming, the planning stage. I like to have a rough idea of the concept first, start to draft up just like a small blurb. Then I would actually start on thumbnail design. I usually come up with at least 3 different designs before I even start filming the video. And that really just helps with the overall vision. Now, fleshing out the script, depending on the style of the video, like if it was more research intensive, I would definitely prefer to have a real script to work off of because there's so many points that I want to hit. But other times I find it a little bit easier to just have an outline. I think it just depends on personal preference and how great of a natural speaker you are as well. So for me, I definitely prefer to lean towards outline for videos like these. For say like the matcha case study video, I definitely prefer to have some more details written in the script. And then in that case, I might have a teleprompter. So having a rough idea of the concept, working on the initial thumbnails, fleshing out the script, finally gather and organize everything. I would say the gather and organizing everything piece can probably be placed after the production. This is something we usually do with clients for video production, is to obtain the creative assets. So like any branding, logos, photos, clips that you already have, we usually like those up front so that we know what other assets we might need and just to help with the planning piece. I think something that I've found super useful, basically before the editing part, to have like everything organized in their own separate folders. Like for example, I might need articles to reference. I might need stock imagery, created graphics. There might be graphics that I have to create. There might be B-roll, photos, etc. I love having everything together before I even start the editing process because otherwise it's so hectic and I just don't want that. Don't want that for us. Number two, specifically how we leverage AI support. And this could be a personal thing, but I prefer to keep my initial creative process free of AI. So what I mean by that is the ideation piece and coming up with the outlines. I like to start off with those ideas in mind. And then where I do like to have some AI support, like for example from ChatGPT or Copilot, is with what I'm about to upload and the YouTube descriptions, especially with like keywords. I think ChatGPT, for example, does a really good job of coming up with really searchable keywords that you might want to include in your platform of choice. Okay, third thing I would do differently, a more reliable go-to setups. You know how sometimes like there are a lot of barriers to creating a new video? Some of the barriers for me is just not having a reliable desk setup where I can just do talking videos, for example, and I'd like to change that. So I'm planning on getting some more like rigs, some equipment that will help me have a go-to setup. And something that I actually really like that I bought this tripod recently, even though I already have 2 camera tripods, but let me explain. So this is a phone tripod, but I can attach my smaller cameras onto this. Like for example, you can attach the DJI camera to this, and they have this remote control for taking pictures. This is actually a pretty great tripod to use when you are doing solo filming. Yeah, what I like about this tripod, it's just really quick to set up. It works for both lighter cameras and your phone. I like to use tripods to get a variety of angles if I'm shooting by myself. So I will leave the link in the description for this one that I got if you want to check it out. So I'll be honest, going into month 3, I definitely had a lot of self-doubt creeping up, especially with my commitment to continue uploading videos on a regular basis, which is a struggle I'm sure a lot of creators share. But also the difference being when you first start a channel and everything's really fun and it's easy to explore different topics, things you want to talk about. But I think after having uploaded more videos, you start to wonder if you need to start narrowing down and doubling down on things that are working and do less of that experimenting. But I'm gonna try and continue to push myself and challenge myself to experiment with different editing styles and continue to explore related topics that might interest me that I haven't dove into yet, because I don't think I'm ready to box myself in just yet. But with that said, next month I do plan on doubling down on a few areas that I'm really interested in. For instance, I want to release more case studies. These do take a lot more time. As you can probably tell with the matcha videos, there's so much content to gather, and a lot of the time is being spent on the research and pre-production phase, which might mean videos are slower to come out. Next month, I also hope to share some life updates, especially with regarding my application to the master's program. Finally, I'm thinking I would like to share some career-focused content. With that in mind, I hope you are excited to follow along if these topics are things that you might be interested in. Thanks all.